Welcome to the PHP Serverless News Podcast with your host, Bob Bloom. A production of South LaSalle. Welcome to the 30th episode of my PHP Serverless News, open source framework to create AI agents in PHP. Today is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. PHP Serverless News is my weekly PHP passion podcast about serverless news with a PHP point of view and with an eye on overall trends published on Tuesdays. This is your podcast host, Bob Bloom from Toronto. I organize the Greater Toronto PHP and Laravel Toronto groups. Head to gtaphp.org for info on our groups. It is with deep gratitude that I express my thanks to my intrepid sponsors of my PHP Serverless project, of which this podcast is a part of, Toga Aircan and Luca Leah. I also want to thank my family for their amazing ongoing support of my PHP Serverless project. Links referenced in this episode are listed in my notes at phpserverlessnews.com, episode 30. You can listen to this podcast on my website, RSS, Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. This week I have gone through 200 or so posts, none of which really warranted bringing anything to your attention here. There is much reinvent post-game summaries and editorials, but that seemed to be it. Some weeks are going to be like this. This week I started looking at how AI can help me out with this podcast. Sure, it might be nice to have AI go through my links and see what it comes up with. Gemini tells me that it cannot crawl sites, which is kind of funny coming from Google. I'm curious about how AI can perform specialized searches. I could build up a lot of these specialized searches, have it run weekly, see what it comes up with. That would be very helpful for me to expand coverage. I came across neuron-ai.dev from this looking around. Its homepage says Neuron is the framework that lets you create production-ready AI agents entirely in PHP. Leverage the PHP modern stack to build AI-driven apps. Its repos README says Neuron is a PHP framework for creating and orchestrating AI agents. It allows you to integrate AI entities in your existing PHP applications with a powerful and flexible architecture. We provide tools for the entire agentic application development lifecycle, from LLM interfaces to data loading, to multi-agent orchestration, to monitoring and debugging. In addition, we provide tutorials and other educational content to help you get started using AI agents in your projects. I find that very interesting. Thank you for listening to my 30th episode of my PHP Serverless News, open source framework to create AI agents in PHP. My next episode is scheduled for Tuesday, December 23rd. You have been listening to a South LaSalle production. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of South LaSalle, Bob Bloom, nor of the organizations represented. Links and materials discussed on air are available in the show notes for this show. Information contained herein have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but are not guaranteed. Podcasts are released under copyright. Rights are reserved. Email correspondence to the attention of Bob Bloom at bob.bloom@lasallesoftware.ca.